have to say our PBIS core values of being safe, being respectful, and being prepared, as well as our community meetings, has allowed for students to feel safe and supported throughout the day. We have also set a tone for them to have access to learning opportunities daily in the classroom. And as for student outcomes, our out of school suspensions have decreased. And although we have not seen double digit growth in our at or above star and math reading data, we have seen double digit movement across grade levels in the achievement categories such as on watch and strategic. On a scale of 1 to 10, the school community is about a 9. And awareness of school based academic goals. Teachers are aware of what they should be teaching in alignment to the PA Common Core standards. Through the continual support they have received in attending, weekly common planning time. Teachers are guided through the math and ELA framework by academic teacher leaders. They look at curriculum and standards and to implement rigorous academic instruction, but nevertheless, teachers have to fully engulf themselves in the planning time to prepare, for their teaching in order to meet the academic goals. I would have to say for academic outcome resources, that would be like our grade level curriculum books, math manipulatives, lesson plans, math academic teacher leader coaching in math as well as in ELA. My APs, they also do coaching and instructional feedback meetings. We have data meetings, reading specialists, math interventionists, after school professional development, as well as, weekly common planning time where we review, data and support teachers around re what is it reteach lessons, as well as helping them through supporting or breaking down standards. I would say the strengths I would say we have a lot of supports in the building that we that you know typically don't necessarily see in a school district building, but this year we do have a lot of supports. Leadership team meets quarterly to discuss STAR data and looking at the growth and trends within the data. Additionally, teachers are responsible for tracking student progress with their grades and their learning achievement and progression rating on our Potter Thomas tracker. This down into like when I think of this, I think of like the external factors of like outside the school building, and then some factors that are happening internally inside the school building. So like our external environmental factors, I would have to say is parent engagement, the pandemic, poverty and violence in our community has a negative impact or has had a negative impact on our students that prevent them from reaching their highest, potential. But our internal factors, I lay a lot of weight with our teachers in terms of their growth mindset and acknowledging that students can, but not yet, versus student will never or students will not achieve. I also think in terms of some internal factors is like teacher biases or micro disruptions within themselves that they have not faced in order to be able to psychologically prepare themselves to teach, Black and Brown and Latino children. And I would have to say, in terms of concern, um, I would have to say like just being in alignment with all, because it's a lot to manage. And there's a lot to oversee. So just making sure, ensuring that my leadership team is in alignment um with the data platforms to ensure that they are, being used appropriately. leader, I think I would like to consistently implement, weekly uninterrupted leadership team meetings. Also, I would like to have instructional coaches and my APs develop individualized goals that are in alignment to the teachers that they are supporting in order to um, that reflects the student outcome data, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking more so along like, if I'm working or if my AP is working with, two teachers with, teacher A and teacher B, starting that coaching cycle off with a student outcome goal. So guess what? From my working with, teacher A and B, I want to increase the star data by 5% so that they're working towards some, of course, whatever their goal is, that's also shared with the teacher as well. But I think in order, like right now, I feel like a lot that we do around the data is in isolation, all depending on the category. And it's like, yo, no, it should not be in isolation. It should all, we're in this all together. Blind spots are was doing this work during the pandemic. Wow, the pandemic, allowed for many unforeseen operational factors. And when you think about staffing and call outs and vacancies and the social emotional wellness of the staff and students. So I would say working through the pandemic with unforeseen operational factors and the school community wellness, the wellness of the school community. I would say the biggest limitation of the belief system of teachers is really understanding that they are one of the main driving forces of student achievement. Um, but we have begun to overcome this hurdle through educational tactics such as, holding growth mindset, professional development trainings, being more culturally responsive, with providing that type of training and peer mentorship. As for, I believe it was innovative. When have I felt the most innovative and supportive? I would say innovation was seen when the data was supported throughout or among the whole school community by making the data, visual in classrooms and our hallways and throughout the building.